I'm Joni De Winter.
And I am Susan Grant.
And we are Bell Street,
who are an events band and production company.
And we're here to talk to you about our fun and failures.
On our journey from being scared, but doing it anyway.
And today we have, as our first guests of season 3, Mark and Gemma from CODA.
We've been really inspired by their journey as they've been working as a duo together, taking their music to different theatres with musical theatre, and their shows look really exciting.
Yeah. So we wanted to pick their brains really and get some tips and hear more about their story. You can look forward to such gems as...
But yeah, we always said we just wanted to do theatres.
Yeah.
And then when Mark was like, oh, I've got this idea, I was like, 100%. I would love to go back and do like theatre and sing songs of the musicals that I love.
So they came to see the show, and then the next rehearsal that we had, one person came in and went, "You won't take offence, but I've bought you some." And it was, she took out this big black feather boa. And then about 2 minutes later, somebody else came in and went, "I hope you don't take offence, but I've bought you something." And it was stockings and suspenders. Well, since COVID, people just haven't been coming out to live music anymore. I think they need to, it's when people put their foot in and they go, "Oh, actually, that wasn't too bad."
So we really hope that you enjoy listening to their story and their journey.
And the laughs are loud.
They are. So today we are here with Jen and Mark, who are CODA.
CODA, indeed.
We are.
And we're going to have a little chat about all their plans for this year and beyond, how they found each other and where CODA started from.
Why don't you start telling us what CODA is?
Well, first of all, are they going to need subtitles when you talk?
We've got Northerners. We've got Northerners that listen. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay, sorry, I don't mean that. So, do you want to say what we...
Oh, you can say.
Me?
Yeah, go on then.
So CODA is basically a musical theatre review show. We tour the UK singing songs from all the best loved musical theatre shows and a few film shows as well, don't we? So yeah, and basically try and make some of them our own. So we do like our own arrangements of things like Bring Him Home and Music of the Night, stuff like that. And just generally try and spread a bit of a laugh out to audiences all over
Musical
the UK.
cheer.
Musical cheer, yes.
Jolly.
Throughout the year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that.
Nice.
Musical cheer throughout the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
Oh, fantastic.
Sounds hideous. I'd never go see that. Oh
No.
wait, it's everything I love. So obviously, you guys aren't neighbours
No.
by the sounds of things.
No.
So how did you meet? How was CODA, the show, born?
So it was actually Mark's idea. Genius idea. We met on a TV show a couple of years ago, and we stayed in contact. But to be honest, when Mark messaged me and he was like, "I've got this idea for this project. Would you be interested?" I thought he doesn't even know who I am. Honestly,
I did know who you
I'm
were.
still convinced he got me confused with somebody else.
I'm not
because
being...
I don't remember chatting to anyone. I was in just a world of my own, wasn't I?
Yeah, but you're not really one of those people that's hard to forget. I'm going to be honest with you. I knew exactly who you were. The worst part is that she's going, "No, you don't remember me." And I've gone through we've got hundreds of photos from All Together now.
I couldn't
which is the
find
show.
one of me and him.
I'm trying to find them. I did actually find one the other day, and then I can't find it.
Did you?
And then I found another one, but it's just the back of your head. So, but I'm determined to find a photo of you from when we did it all together.
But yeah, we met on the TV show and then we stayed in contact.
Yeah.
And then Mark was like, "I've got this idea for a show." It was going to be 4-piece originally. And then it just didn't happen as 4-piece. Did it? Because we couldn't get anyone to stay.
Well, we had
Stick with us.
Yeah, we had two other people
Like
that were going to come in. We had one meeting with them, and then for one reason or another, they both weren't able to do it. So we originally thought, "Oh well, maybe we'll look for some other people." Then we did.
Yeah.
We did the show at the Fringe, didn't we? At the Shaftesbury Fringe.
Yeah, that was the first one.
At the
yeah.
first one, and we just did it as a 2-piece, and we went, "Actually, do you know what? We could just do this and
It
just have it like
works, yeah.
yeah."
There's less work, not less work, but it's less conflict. You know what I mean? Like you got 2 of you, okay? Like actually we get on really well, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
But when you've got an extra person or even a 4, because I've done like 3-piece things before. I've worked in like companies and that, and there can be loads of personalities to deal with. So You're gonna have to put up with me.
Well, it's the way that it tends to work really is if I agree with everything that Gemma says,
That's
then
the way forward.
it means that we stay on a nice even keel.
It's true.
We should try that. You could agree with everything I say, and then no, okay.
Yeah, that look says everything, really, doesn't it?
So yeah, that's where it started, and that was what, 2 years ago.
2 years ago we had the first meetings, and then we sort of like worked through, and then the not last Fringe, but the Fringe before that was our first.
You're talking about the Shaftesbury Fringe.
Yeah, Shaftesbury Fringe, yeah. And we went in and we sold that one out straight away, didn't we? There was a sellout on our first show, and then from then it's just gone from strength to strength. It's been a bit sort of like weird, really, how it's been taken on. We've sort of like got like 6 agents under our book now. We've done Warner Hotels. We've done, our own touring sort of stuff. We've been asked to do loads of guest bits and pieces. It's just been a bit crazy how it's sort of like come together and
just works. I think it when you do a project and you probably like you guys, you're like it just works. It fits.
Especially when people can tell that you're enjoying it as well. And it's not work, it's just a bit of fun. I think that's when the audiences tend to
it's all pretend.
That's right, yeah. No, it's good because I think one of the things that we like to do is play with the audience and have a bit of interaction with the audience, and we do a lot of stuff off script, really, don't we? And because they can see that it's all just it's very light-hearted, is that tends to sort of like come through quite easily. And
Mark tells some awful jokes.
Excuse me, please. They are amazing jokes. Just because you don't get them,
people seem to love them.
I don't understand.
I think it's good to offset musical theatre with humour. Otherwise, it all gets a bit intense, doesn't it? And it's all a bit less fun to watch. And it's like, look what I can sing. Whereas if you're bringing in some humour to it, it helps kind of bring it all back down to earth a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think that's what we always want to bring across in the shows. Yeah. That although we love musical theatre, I'm definitely not a typical musical theatre person. I love musicals, but I'm, like you. I mean, Mark's a real buff. You know a lot of musical theatre, don't you?
Yeah, kind of up to a point, and then it sort of like disappears away from me. So the newer stuff I'm not so sure on, but more like the sort of like the Les Mis and the Phantom of the Operas and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it is. So
that's the same for me though. But you've introduced loads of new songs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like Dear Evan Hansen. Well, I haven't done it yet, but we will be doing songs from that. So.
Yeah, and then we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing one from Maiden Dagenham, hopefully.
Oh, you are, yeah.
So, and I want to get you to do one from Kinky Boots.
Okay.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Yeah, it's called delegation. Yeah. I can't sing about loving a bloke, so chuck it onto her.
Why not? That's cool. Why not? There you go.
So tell us about the tour and where you're visiting this year and a bit about this show.
So we're starting off the tour in the Robin Hood Theatre, which is Nottinghamshire. So it's Newark upon Trent.
Yep.
That's on the 15th of February. So that's the first one. And so it's split into 2 halves and it covers all music, not all musicals, our favourite, really. And we've changed the show a little bit this year because last year we had a few songs that we'd done quite a lot where I think with the followers that we've got now will be like, probably like, oh, come
but
on.
We've also kept the ones that people expect us to sing. So things like the Brigham Homes and stuff like that, which are the ones that a lot of people sort of like would be really upset if we didn't do a Les Mis section like that. Then we've kept.
Yeah, it's like I guess the Les Mis is like our signature, like CODA. Yeah. Like CODA songs. So, but that's the first stop. That's in 15th of February.
15th of Feb, that's right. And then we're closer to home for you guys. So we're in the Shaftesbury Arts Centre on the 8th of March, which I'm a bit nervous about because it's a home crowd, but also we've got Nate coming down to watch that one as well.
And my mum and dad.
And your mum and dad as well. So it's just like, we call them the in-laws, the CODA in-laws. So, and then we go all over. Then we've got Wembley, we've got Berkshire.
Stadium.
Exactly. Sheffield, Berkshire, Southampton, Stroud, Torquay, Hereford, Leicester, Tame, and then we've got Yeah. Yes, I remembered all of those.
Oh no, you are looking because I can't see. For me, it just looks blind.
No, I'm not looking at anything. I remember them all.
He's written them on his own.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple more which we're talking to at the moment.
Hopefully in Liverpool.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're trying to get one in Liverpool, so that'd be nice.
There's a really nice theatre up there that we've been talking to that we're trying to get in. It's dates more than anything else. It's trying to get the dates to sort of like come together. And then we're looking at hopefully going back to some of the theatres that we did last year that we had good crowd reactions from, so and head over to those ones. We've just got to firm up some dates for those ones as well. So, but yeah, it all seems to be, it's fun. Yeah, exactly.
And do you find it easy to do this with the other things that you do? We've worked with you, Mark, with your wonderful rocket choir.
Yeah.
Do you have other bits and pieces that you're doing all at the same time as well?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably the same for you two, isn't it? It's kind of, you know, when looking at the theatre, everything that goes into organising a theatre tour, it's all the admin, contacting all the theatres, you know, doing the contracts alongside the other jobs that we have, because I work as a wedding and event singer, you know, like freelance, so that's where my other work is. And then obviously Mark's got rocket choir as well, so
both do a bit of voiceover work as well.
Yeah,
so we've got that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so
is this the first tour that you both have organised in terms of like logistics?
Well,
for me, I've never organised a tour or anything before.
I've done, so I've toured a one-act play before. So before any of this sort of like went on, and we used to do like amateur dramatic sort of stuff, or I used to do that sort of stuff. I did a play called Dear Mother, which I wrote, and then that went on to do quite well at a few like one-act play festivals and stuff. So we did do like a little mini tour with that, and that was a lot more scenery and a lot more sort of like setting up as far as having to have a team with us that we needed to know what they were doing, because it was very much done on timings and the technical side. Whereas this one is more, we work with the teams within the theatres already. So we give them set plans on what we want, set plans on how we want it to look, and then their team basically provides that for us and we go from there. And then when we go to like the bigger venues, like when we did the one, we went to Leicester to do the showcase event, didn't we? And you had like a full team of people there, and like sound engineers and everything. That then sort of like blows our mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's lovely when that happens, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's a lot that goes into, you know, like setting up a tour, you know, and then obviously like getting everything ready and then going on the road. There's so much, isn't there, that goes into it. It's but for me, I'm really enjoying it. Like it's in kind of a new thing, but I must say it is difficult because like you said, we're juggling our own job work as well, you know, and it's finding the time to do everything. And also advertising it, doing socials and all that. That in itself is a full-time job. Isn't it?
Well, it's finding the people that have never heard of you before, and it's trying to persuade them to come to see you and actually, you know, you come over. So things like show reels are so important, and finding the right balance on the show reel, and then also trying to find, you know, somebody that's going to do it at a good cost, because some of these things are really, really expensive to get kicking off the ground. It's the same as everything that you do. You could have the best of everything in the world, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And when you're just starting out on a tour, when you're just starting out and you're running on a budget, there's just no way you can do it. There's just no way you can do it at all, really. So
and, we found with different venues as well, just trying to work out how much they're going to advertise you, how much they're putting out. You really have to make
it
that clear
varies so much between venues, doesn't it? Like some venues we had really pushed us, and they kind of set up interviews with press, and you could see their posts on social media, and then other venues, I mean, didn't even, we would send them like promotional stuff, we'd send like little videos especially for that venue, and nope. You just be like...
Well, we had one venue, which I won't say which one it was, but we travelled up there before the actual gig to go and do a full day of marketing up there, and they were having an event, so we said, oh, we'll come up and we'll do sort of like a bit of a showcase for you to see what we were doing. And it turned out that we turned up for the showcase, and they said, oh, you can set yourself up in that corner there. And then everyone was basically, they treated us like a pub band, didn't they, really, where everyone was talking over the top, so nobody was really listening to what was going on. Then even then it was hard for us to try and get anything. So you can really, really push yourself to try and get your name out there, but unless these theatres are actually coming on board and helping you, it's a real slog.
It has to work both ways, doesn't it? Really,
it does.
And like some of them have been like amazing, you know, like they've put the events up straight away, and they're sending mail lists out to all their, you know, like their regulars, and they're putting Facebook events on. So some of them have been really, really helpful.
Yeah,
but
and
the
committees really push it as well. I mean, I'm thinking of the Wall Store now. So you know, the Wall Store over at Codford, they were brilliant when they looked at the ticket sales like 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, and they're going, right, we need more. So all their committee were basically tasked with, you need to go out now and you need to go and advertise this and you need to push it. And you know, really, you know, there are theatres out there, and again, they're run by volunteers, so they're not paid to do this, but they've got such a passion for what they do, and they've got such a passion for where they want to be, that they really push it out there. And you know, that's why we want to support them as much as we possibly. Any theatre like that, the whole thing with our tour has been that we want to support local independent theatres, because we want to make sure that that's where we feel that the grassroots of everything starts, really. You know, the number of people that start in those theatres and then work their way through. So we want to be able to support them going forward. And the teams, when they support us back, is just absolutely amazing. And it works then. It really does work. You have that special click then.
So when you're putting your show together, what's your creative process? Or do you just kind of go, well, I like this song and I like this song and I think we should sing this song? Or do you have a kind of audience, typical kind of person in mind? Do you write for that, or do you write the story, or how do you collate?
No, it is basically like our favourite songs, and then one of us will be like, oh, I've had this idea for this song, you know, why don't we do this duet, but we can switch it round, you know, because obviously we're male, a lot of the duets we do, some of the songs we've made into duets, but some of them are, you know, male-female duets, so then we're like, oh, why don't we try this, play around with that. So that's generally how it works, isn't it? It's like, you'll message me or I'll message you. I've had this great idea for this song, and let's just see how it goes at the next rehearsal.
It's things like, whereas Wicked is so popular at the moment, because
popular.
There you go.
Right.
Then obviously we'll go, right, Wicked's popular at the moment, let's make sure we get a Wicked section in there. We're bound by the licensing laws. You can only do a certain amount of songs or a certain time of songs within a show like ours, otherwise we have to start paying licensing fees, and we can't do set production values or anything. So that we've got such a tight thing, but we look at the sections that we want to do, and we've also got sort of like a run of how we want the show to run. So we'll start off on the softer classically type of like the Les Mis and the you can dance all nights and all the sort of like the more sort of like traditional musicals, and then hopefully work it up so that towards the end we're doing more of the Grease Lightnings and Blues Brothers we've got in there, and trying to get the audience involved and letting them singing along and dancing and
they'll have had a drink then as well.
Exactly.
Well,
so
that's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Gone the bar for a little bit, and then come back ready to have a little dance.
And by that point, like, you kind of know each other as like performer and audience member. There's a rapport already, isn't there? Whereas
so
when you're
true,
sometimes we've definitely gone into places and there's like a cold wall, and you've got to kind of like find a chip to make them like you and like create some kind of energy flow or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes that can be hard. What's that?
We found that with Warner's when we first went with Warner's. We were used to a younger audience. Then you go into a Warner's and they're a slightly older audience, and the way that they reacted to what the younger audiences reacted was a lot different, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's. I mean, I think our audience definitely is that older crowds. Yeah. But they like your jokes. They do.
See, I told you they're funny. They're funny. What can I say?
It is always difficult, but that's like with any gig you do, isn't it? Like sometimes you'll go into a venue and you're like, oh, I'm not getting anything back.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard. And we have had that sometimes, haven't we? But generally, it's felt quite easy. You know, we've felt like we've connected with the audience quite easily. And it is like, you know, like we don't run it like a show as in like bang, 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 song. We do the medleys. Like we've got a Wicked medley and we've got a Les Mis.
Phantom now as well.
We've got Phantom medley now and a Les Mis one. But generally the songs, we chat after every song, you know, like just to, because otherwise I think it would just be dead boring, wouldn't it, if it just literally ran.
And we try and have a bit of banter as well, so we try to make sure that it's a bit light-hearted towards each other as well as the audience, so that the audience know that actually they can laugh at us because we're going to laugh at ourselves as well.
Exactly.
The audience needs that, you know, they want to be in it with you. And they want to be on your side. But it is just breaking.
It's breaking the ice, isn't it, somehow? And
exactly.
Yeah, but usually after the first couple of songs.
Yeah.
That's
very true.
So was it always your intention for it to be in theatres rather than kind of setting yourselves like as an events band and is that what you kind of exclusively do?
Yeah, that was from the get-go, wasn't it? We were like, we just want to target theatres and, you know, we'll you know, like maybe do the Warners and possibly the guest acts.
What is Warners?
The Warner hotels, and they've got them everywhere. Yeah. So they have like different guest acts and that. So yeah, we've done a few of them.
It was really weird because we were lucky. We got into Warner's really early in the setup of us. You know, we got in there within like 7 months of us setting up, and we were walked into these venues and it was all nice. But then you saw CODA, and then after that you'd see, and next is Russell, what's his name? Russell Watson, and then you've got like Matt Luke. Is it Matt Lucas from Bros? And you're like looking and going, her name's on that list. That's just like really weird.
Matt Lucas in Bros.
No, it's not Matt Lucas. What's his name? Matt.
I was confused.
Yeah, it's Matt and Luke, isn't it?
Goss.
Matt Goss and Luke Goss, wasn't it? Yeah. That's right.
Now I thought of that.
I want to see Matt Luke.
Exactly. When will I be famous?
That's a good act.
That'd be brilliant. But yeah, we always said we just wanted to do theatres.
Yeah.
Because like I trained in musical theatre and then never wanted to go into it. I always did bands and all different solo stuff. And then when Mark was like, I've got this idea, because it was Mark's idea initially, I was like 100%. I would love to go back and do like theatre and sing songs of the musicals that I love, you know.
When it's on your terms
When
as well,
exactly.
actually, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
When you are actually creating something and you've got a bit of control over it.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, like, because we're not doing it every night after night, the same songs, because I think I'd get a bit bored, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, another thing is you'd end up killing me as well. See me every night.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, then you wouldn't enjoy it as much.
No. But we've done some local stuff, like around Shaftesbury and that. We did what was the place we did? The Udder Farm.
We did the other farm shop for Valentine's, didn't we? And then we've done, we did the arts centre with Rocket. We've done the Shaftesbury Fringe a couple of times. We've done, we did the Sturminster Newton. We did the Exchange at Sturminster Newton as well.
Yeah.
That was finished off our tour last year.
Yeah.
So,
but other than like we've done a few little bits that are non-theatre, but the majority is theatre stuff. Yeah.
And really, I mean, like theatre songs need to be sung in a theatre more than anything else. They're not the type of things that you would go to a pub and listen to.
No, although I do bang out a bit of Phantom in the pubs if I'm doing a gig. And I'm like, I'm just going to finish with this one
because I want to.
And you will listen to me.
I know.
Yeah,
we were discussing that today, actually, with musical theatre and where it's we're always like, oh, we'd love to sing this a bit more, or do this one, or do that. And you're like, who wants to hear it unless you are putting it in to a set?
I know, but you know what? I think it's really surprising actually how many people were quite because it's a bit, you know, it's different, isn't it? And they're not expecting it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
I think it's the same. It's the same as everything with a set. As long as you've got it, as long as it fits in with the song that's before and after, then it works okay. If you were doing sort of like thrash metal and then go, I'm going to do Bring 'Em Home now, and then do thrash metal again, it doesn't kind of work. But if it all sort of like stays on the same sort of theme and the same sort of like beats per minute and the same sort of like, then you can get it in there. And there's always, you know, something you can do. I mean, even if it's something sort of like more upbeat, like the the greases or the hairspray with you can't stop the beat, that sort of stuff, then there's always something from musical theatre that you can put in there.
Do you do that?
No,
You
but
can't stop to breathe.
That's a great.
I do like that one.
Do that one.
Yeah, but the thing is,
If there's two of you, you can share it, so then you could breathe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's the problem with that
Yeah,
song, isn't
I
it?
know, it's so quick.
it's
like-
really hard.
Sing, 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 and when do you breathe? So
But
you
the other thing is,
tennis match it.
Gemma tries to get me to dress up in women's clothing so many times.
It sounds so wrong. Like,
Yeah,
you've
but
got
you do
all
though
this
every
in
time.
context.
Literally every night so far.
During a show.
You-
No, this sounds so wrong. Gemma tries to get me to dress in women's clothing
All right,
every
I'll
night.
rephrase that. Gemma tries to get me into stockings and suspenders every
At
night.
the at the theatre show, not every night.
But an audience loved that.
Exactly. Yeah.
They really do.
If I go on stockings and suspenders, then we would need to have set counsellors afterwards.
Could you just try a dress to start?
Yeah.
Well, it's Rocky Horror. You see, that's what we've been doing. So
You've got some costumes for that now.
I have got some costumes for that now. Yeah.
Well, that's
That was thanks to my choir.
Ah.
Yeah, so they came to see the show, and then the next rehearsal that we had, one person came in and went, "I hope you won't take offence, but I've bought you something to go with the show." And I was like, "Right," and she took out this big black feather boa, and then there you go. And then about 2 minutes later, somebody else came in and went, "I hope you don't take offence, but I've bought you something," and it was stockings and suspenders. So I've now got the full.
good. Well,
So
just that would be a very
If you
odd
haven't
look.
bought your ticket yet, then this is what you're going to
This-
see.
Yeah, no.
This is going to be
I hope you got something on for in
USP
between those bits.
I'll have something on over the top of those bits as well, believe me.
Were you getting more costumes? Because I love a costume change. So
We
I
do,
Yeah, do you? I love it. Any chance? I'm like, I'll change my costume.
Every time I turn around.
I got a different costume.
That's
on.
just in rehearsal.
Yeah, that's true. I did it today. But then you started to introduce some
just
waistcoats.
waistcoats and a hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, a man in the hat, so I've got to have different hats at some point, haven't
Yeah,
I?
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true.
you know.
We did a show at Fringe last year and we had just sort of thrown it together.
Yeah.
It worked. It was great.
Yeah,
Apart from the bit where we thought we'd do this pretend striptease on stage,
yeah.
we didn't think about doing it with our mic packs on as a dress rehearsal. So we were going, we'll just
Timed
dress
it really well.
behind the screens, and we were
Yeah.
like,
Oh no.
and the song had finished, and we were both having to do each other. So, yes, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Rehearse.
Oh.
You have a dress run and then a technical run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Don't wing it when it comes to costumes.
No, definitely not. We when we did the Stonemaster one, we actually had to tie off or like partition part of the backstage so that Gemma could get changed in between each one because there just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough time for you
The
to get to the
dressing
changing.
rooms are like downstairs. But
So-
that's normal. Like I used to do cruise ships years ago when I first started out, and it was just constant back, like quick back changes backstage,
Yeah.
like this, So yeah, I'm quite used to it. But yeah.
Well, I can beat that. I was the dame, or I've played the dame 8 times, and the number of times that I've had to get into another dress.
But there you go. You're used to it.
Exactly.
You're whinging.
All in a pair of high heels as well.
Oh, there. See.
That's what Gemma's doing all the time.
Well, I know.
Yes.
I know.
There we are.
I would never call you a dame, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd never,
Good.
we call her the diva, but we don't. I wouldn't call her the dame.
No, I think it's the other way around, really. But I'll take it. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'll be the diva. It's fine.
I'm shooketh to the core.
Yeah, Mark made some really, because Mark makes all the merchandise and that. So we've got some mugs, and we've got you did what was the one you did for me? I think it was
Diva.
Shine Like a Diva or Sparkle Like a Diva,
Sparkle like a diamond, shine like a diva.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got Man in the Hat ones.
Man in the Hat ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so Man in the Hat ones, diva ones, and then we've got like a little CODA cartoon. So we have.
Yeah, Mark designed that.
So we've got a little cartoon, and then we have like key rings and
Badges.
badges, cut tote bags.
And you have those all out for sale before the show?
Yeah.
So
During and after.
so it's we were looking at sort of like getting them from somewhere else, and I looked at the price of how much other places, and I thought it was just going to be too expensive to sell them. So I then looked at everything else, and I went, "Ooh, I can make it myself.
And now he's got a toy shop in the house.
Basically now my
makes
Saturdays are
everything.
spent at Hobbycraft. And I make all the, I basically make everything. Now I've got, like, in the corner of my bedroom, there is just one whole crafting section,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
mug presses and
Yeah.
heat presses for clothes. And
You've got a badge machine.
yeah.
Have
We
you?
were looking for one of those.
Every
weren't we?
year we're like, why don't we have a badge machine?
Oh,
This
if you
is
want
so
badges,
annoying.
let me know and I'll get some made for you. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, and keyrings. And my latest one is I've just bought a 3D printer as well. So
Print
Yeah,
costume.
Yeah.
dollies of both of you then, can't you?
Oh
Like,
my
Barbie.
God, that would be good.
we could do those knitted ones. You can take up knitting though.
Yeah, no thanks.
If you
Oh,
did a
to be
knitting
fair,
one,
no, I would. I've always wanted to try.
Yeah?
I remember my nan years ago trying to teach me to knit, but yeah, I think you need to have patience, don't you?
Yeah.
I can just imagine. Well, you make all the bracelets. So
Yeah, I do.
you
That's
can-
my contribution.
I could. We're driving. Next time we're driving up, and you're in the van, and you can just be there, knit one pole, one knit one pole, one. It'll be absolutely fine.
There's a lot of bands make money out of. That's how they kind of claw back their
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
profit in a. Do you find that helps having merchandise? We've only got these mugs and we don't sell them yet. But they
I was
are.
looking at them.
Nice.
Love
Yeah.
them.
I can make
Got
those.
a new order coming, so you
Yeah. And we've got bags. We've got.
I
You
can
can
make
have
them.
a bag.
He's trying to get a job now. Is your merch man?
These are our charity bags, but we did slightly over.
Oh my
on
God, I
them.
love
Oh,
them.
You can
nice.
have one.
have one.
Oh,
Can
lovely.
I? Oh my
We've
God,
got
I
100
love them.
No, we have.
So
Oh, they're
if you-
bad ones as
Yeah,
well.
you have
Yeah,
one.
so these
Oh,
are the
nice.
The brain
return-
Yeah, we-
That's
You can
amazing.
keep them.
Thank you.
And I absolutely love Bagco are the mental health charity.
Okay.
That,
Oh wow.
Yes. So we
That's
did a
brilliant.
cabaret in November at the Arts Centre, and
and
we
how much did you get again?
about $5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for them.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well done.
It
That's
was good. It was
brilliant.
really well supported, so we're really grateful. But we did over order the bags, so have one,
That's
and
all right.
and,
That's
and
nice.
you know. But you get carried away, don't you, with merch? You can definitely
Yeah.
like before. It's normally with our Bell Street party, and we're like, oh, and we mean to get things printed as like fun presents for like some kind of surprise,
Yeah.
parcel or something. But we never do because it's January and we're just exhausted.
Yeah.
But like you can get umbrellas, you can get water bottles, you
Oh
can
my
get.
gosh, yeah.
Well, we've got the
About
badges.
flip-flops at one point.
Oh yeah,
didn't
we did
You
talk
know,
about flip-flops,
you know.
blankets with our faces on.
And
Yeah.
then we do have pens every now and again, but we really want those pens, you know, where you turn them upside down
And the
the
clothes
dress
come off.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No, just no. No, see, you thought that I was taking the mick. See, you can see the cogs going in her head, can't you? Ooh, a dress could fall off Mark. Oh, no, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, we really want them. They're on our. People say, "What's the ultimate dream for Bell Street?" Just pens.
Just
Pens. And those heat mugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I've got one of those, but it's the Marauder's map from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So when you pour it in, it's sort of like, you know, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good,
Yeah.
and it reveals the map when it gets hot. Yeah, I like those.
But yeah, I guess with like the at the moment, all the money that we make from the merch goes back into buying.
Yeah.
You know, like because Mark spent a lot on buying all the equipment and everything. So at the moment, it's just going back into that, isn't it? But hopefully in the future we can start to put a little bit into our kitty
Yeah.
as well. You know,
Just takes time, doesn't
It
it?
does, yeah.
I think the biggest thing really is the which we're hoping to make sure that we get, because we haven't before, is like the CDs and the or USB sticks as well, because nobody has CD players these days. So like having a little album that people can listen to and be able to
Yeah. Do
take
you
it.
have that? Do you have sell like songs and
No,
albums
we
and
got
things?
the because we wrote a musical called Hugh the Musical. But
Yeah.
which was very good. I want to see it. Yeah, it was very very good.
we recorded that and it's on Spotify and you can stream it and
Yeah.
download it. But we don't have like an EP. We talked about it, didn't we? We talked about a Christmas EP, and we talked about just an EP. We've got some songs we want to write as well, which
Yeah.
kind of would fit really well into our things. But it's time, it's money,
Yeah.
it's finding it. You make so little money out of recording and selling things like CDs and things now.
Yeah.
You have to kind of weigh up what it's worth putting your money into.
Yeah.
And it's so different, isn't it, to like 15 years ago when you would have CDs and people would buy them, but like I got given a CD the other day and I was like, oh wow.
Well, my old car still has a CD player,
I don't know
which
where
I
to
love.
sit.
And then you get in somewhere else, I'm like, oh no, I can't play it.
Yeah.
I've got a friend, my friend Magda.
Yeah.
She's like a collector of DVDs and CDs, and like if you go into a house, it's just like. She buys CDs. Like if we go and see a band, she will buy like a CD because she just collects them.
Yeah.
But like the majority of people don't like.
Maybe we need to put everything on vinyl.
Yeah.
Vinyl
That's even
CDs.
more
expensive.
expensive.
I know, but just to say that we're on vinyl.
It's funny, like all the ways of making money
Yeah.
for people who are creative is kind of being stripped away a little bit because it's hard to make money on tour.
Yeah.
It's hard, but you also have to go through, like it's really hard for theatres to make money, so they're trying to make money off you,
exactly.
and then it's hard to make money off merchandise. It's hard to make money off CDs. So it really is about people.
No, I agree.
People buying the tickets.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially since COVID as well. Since COVID, people just haven't been coming out to live music anymore. And
It's coming back. I do think it's
I
slowly
agree.
coming back.
I think so.
I think they need to. It's when people put their foot in and they go, oh, actually, that wasn't too bad, and then they go out but it has been a trickle. It's not been as easy post COVID to get an audience as it was before.
And
COVID.
our habits have changed. I think as well. Like people don't buy 3 months in advance.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just,
that's
and it's
very
just,
true.
we've
That
noticed
is
from
true.
the theatres that we've worked with and, working off the Arts Centre and things like that,
Yeah.
people buy in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is so stressful when you start isn't it? You're like, oh my god, sold 10 tickets.
Because we always say to people, you don't know there is an artist at home on refresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to,
oh
and then
my
every
do-
time
gosh.
you buy a ticket, you can guarantee whatever you've bought a ticket to, someone is sending a message going, we sold another ticket.
Yes.
Oh, good.
It's so true. You're
I'm
going to
just-
check now?
Just to prove that point. Just
You're so right though. Oh
just to
my
prove that
gosh,
point,
I
so
drive myself crazy.
I do.
there's
Yeah.
Look
one,
again. I'm going to look again.
and then
You've
so
got
Yes.
there's the other one.
And then you'd be like, oh, someone's just bought 5 tickets. Oh my God, thank God. And then
exactly,
there's a point where you can relax because you're like,
yeah.
well, that show's not going to get cancelled.
Yeah.
So, and we can definitely afford now to drive to this place and
Yes.
do this show.
Exactly.
So,
And then if you do sell out in advance, and then people are like, oh
well, I didn't get a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We have been telling you. Please do.
Yes, so if you could all just go out and buy tickets to either one of our shows or both.
it
Yes.
helps everyone sleep.
It
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
It
Gets us
really
rested.
does.
Yeah.
It really does. And you know, like since we've started doing the theatre shows, when friends of mine that are in bands and that have messaged me, and I've purposely been like, I'll come and I'll get a ticket because I know what it feels like
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, but we were saying that we have gone from, I was talking to Kerry from Alfred earlier, we've gone from like, we always joke that like I was in Liverpool doing shows in my lounge, forcing people to watch me, or like, and then you were in Bournemouth doing shows and now we're doing the same thing, but like just begging people to buy a ticket. Still ringing up your dad going, please can you come and see my show?
Yes.
It's only £15.
Yeah. And that, then you've got the thing as well when you're actually doing it, you're trying to set the price of how much the ticket is going to actually be, and
Yeah.
and it's sort of like you're having that conversation of, well, how much are normal tickets? Are we going to charge that much because we're only going to be there? You know, this is the first time there. Are we not? Is that going to be too much? And then
do you have a kind of policy of like your minimum, your maximum? You don't need to tell us it, but like, do you?
Yeah, we do. We have like a set minimum price.
Yeah.
And did we set a max? We do. Yeah, we have set a max.
Well, should there be a max?
But, a grand a ticket.
So obviously, you know, we expect people to spend at least £100 a ticket to come and see us. We like to make sure that we keep it accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So we know that when we're going into theatres, we are trying to offer a slightly, because we're both trained professionals, if you like, we're offering them slightly more than just your average Joe singing. So we know that maybe it might be a little bit more, if it's not the same, it's a little bit more, but not huge amounts more than what the normal groups would be doing. But we still don't want to be charging like what
Extortion,
some people are charging like 25-30 quid a ticket, and
Yeah.
we wouldn't want to go that high.
But to be fair, like a lot of the times the theatres have been like, usually for like
Yeah.
a guest performance, whatever, this is within the
Yes.
price
Yeah.
range,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
just choose
Yeah.
Yeah.
within that, and we tend to just go with the majority,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you know,
that's working with the theatres
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
because they know their audiences, they know what people are paying.
Yeah.
Tell us what the TV show was that you met on.
So it was called All Together Now. We filmed it in 2017. It came out on the TV in 2018.
Yeah.
And the biggest names that people would recognise from it is we were judges on there along with people like Jerry Horner, Ginger Spice, with Rob Beckett, the comedian. He was on there as
Yeah.
well. And some of the names that have come a bit further, so Davina
Not Matt Lucas.
Not Matt Lucas, no. No.
Unfortunately.
Ross didn't turn up. Davina De Campo, who's was on Drag Race, one of the biggest drag queens in the country now. She was on there, and if you're like your social medias, they're singing dentists, people like that. So it was a good bunch of people, wasn't it? And yeah, we basically were there as judges. When the contestants came on, we decided whether or not we liked them or not, and then we're able to put them through. And it kind of led more so for me than you. You didn't really sort of like.
I hated it.
You didn't like it, did you, as much?
What didn't you like about it?
Well, I found it all a bit overwhelming, to be honest. There was 100, performers in one room at one point. That's a lot of personalities to deal with. Like for me, I was like, I do much better in small groups, so I was like, I find that a little bit like, just a bit too much for me. And honestly, the reason I did it was because I wanted pay my rent at the time. I was like, okay, I'm getting paid this amount.
Yeah.
And then I turned up, and I was just told you're in the show, but what they didn't tell me was that I was a reserve, which meant that if anyone's not in from the 100, you get popped in, but you only get paid if you've put in. So the money that I thought I was guaranteed, I didn't get, and that's the only reason I did it.
Oh, that's awful.
So that really, it was a bit of a sting for me. So we had very different experiences on that show.
I think I came in it's different because it was the first time that I'd actually had an experience of working in that type of environment, whereas you
Yeah.
Because
I remember you said.
Yeah, you'd started off going to theatre school and going to dance college and going up and then doing the cruises and everything, whereas I was the kid at school that was told, don't bother with music, it's not your thing. And then sort of like got into amateur dramatics, and then when I was like 25, and they went, oh, he's all right, and then I went and did some more bits and pieces, and then I was asked to do some other stuff which was paid. And then I ended up opening a music school, and so I sort of like came up through a different way. And then when I went to the first sort of like rehearsal for All Together, and I walked into this room, and there were like 100 of us all in there together. The only way that I was able to describe it to anyone was, it was like as if I was a gay bloke walking into a gay bar for the first time, and going, they're all like me. I can't describe it, at last I feel like I'm with my own people, and I love where I live, I love the countryside, I love but there's not as many creative opportunities, and there's not as many creative people, obviously present people, excluding, but there's not as much of a community like there is in the bigger towns like London and stuff. So when I walked in and just everyone was there, and there were a group of people with guitars singing, and people were just it was just a massive creative atmosphere. I absolutely loved it. And then going into the green room, they had a piano in the green room, and you had like 4 or 5 people that would go and play the piano, and then somebody start playing, and then somebody else would start singing, and it was just, for me, it was awesome. And then obviously rubbing shoulders with some really, really talented people. I mean, I actually got requested to go and sit next to Jerry for two of the shows. So I was sat next to her, and all of a sudden I found myself next to someone who, when I was a teenager, my brother had her poster all over. He ran out of space on the walls, so he had it on the ceiling, and I was sat next to her, just me and her, singing "It's Raining Men." It was just
pinch me.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? It was the only time I've ever been starstruck.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just completely different to what it was with you.
Gemma's just seething in a corner like,
I was just like this.
look at that man in the hat.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Exactly, yeah.
Ill, Mark.
But through all of this, I remembered who Gemma was. And I remembered...
Full circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. That isn't it funny though? Some experiences that you do, like I've done some cruise contracts that were just awful, but then I've still got the friends from that, and I'm like, gosh, if we never did that cruise contract, we would never have met, and we would never have met.
No.
Yeah.
You know, well maybe we would in some other way, but. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing CODA. So that was the reason why I did that show, I think. So we met so we could do CODA.
Yeah.
So think about it like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I did say, I was talking to my dad before I went in, and I did say to him, no matter what happens, whether or not, you know, you go on to the next show or whether or not, you know, the next series or whatever, the amount of contacts and the amount of networking you do within that one little bit, and then it just opens up a whole new world for you. And but there are, I mean, like, we've got so many people. In the last week, we've spoken to Nate, we've spoken to Paulus, we've spoken to, and all these are all people that we've met from the show, and they all, you know, everyone feeds off each other still. It's
And
you still get a good.
Even Shenna, who's
Shenna's our marketing
media.
manager. Yeah. I mean, like, Shenna was really big in the day. She was in a band called JX, and what was the song that you?
Gotta be son of a gun, gotta be son of a gun.
Yeah.
One of them ones, and like loads of like tunes, proper tunes.
Yeah, she's doing our marketing now. That's just really, really weird. But yeah, it's amazing, and you know, we love them. We think they're brilliant. And still really good friends with so many of them. So many of them.
Yeah. The industry is fickle.
It is.
So you are sort of up here, down there, whatever. And I think from the amount of time when I was in London, being in front of house and auditioning, it was a very small pool actually, because you keep bumping into the same people,
exactly.
and everyone's doing all the other jobs.
Yeah.
And then it is amazing who you cling on to.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Networking constantly as well.
No, I agree. And it's also it's the type of business that it's not about what you know, it's who you know. So many people get into jobs not because they are the best at what they do, it's because they know so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and they all work together. I mean, like, you just have to look at the TV shows to see, you know, there are certain artists that just work together all the time.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, and, well, same as us, you know, everything we do tend to work with people that we know. We don't go out and find other people. If we know who it's going to be.
Yeah, if you know you've got people you can rely on, you've worked with before, then you do just tend to stay, you know, within that your circle.
But I think some of that as well is because you do need to rely on them. You do need to. You don't want to be let down, and you know that person's going to be trustworthy.
Yeah, I think that's the hard thing, isn't it? When you're working like in a duo or a band or whatever, that you've got to feel like this person's got your back. You know,
there's a big amount of trust.
Yeah, there's a massive amount of trust.
Well, you two must find it as well. So when you're doing anything at all, you need to know that you can basically second guess each other. So when you're out on the road, or you know that somebody's got your back, or you know if something goes wrong, you know that the other person's always going to be there for you.
When you get the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a look that we have between each other, and it's that, I don't know. And the other one has to either sweep it or... the worst thing is when they go, well, I don't know either.
Our look is... We have that look, and then all of a sudden we go into mime mode. So Defying Gravity's one, isn't it? So it says, cost. Flying high, kiss me goodbye.
When we have lyrics that we struggle with or that we repeatedly forget, we put a dance move in that kind of is that move.
Yeah.
And so then we seem to both remember moves more than lyrics.
Yeah.
So we do just kind of like, just sing with the birds. So some of our dance moves are really weird. And they've come from us going, right, I need to remember that's that.
Yes.
So can we do this?
Yeah.
And then that will be like a slide.
It's a good way of doing it.
It depends how your mind works, doesn't it?
Yeah, mine definitely works like that. I need to like link it with an action or something. Like
pulse.
That's what I was thinking. Like pulse. My
head,
pulse is rushing.
face.
My pulse is rushing. My head is reeling.
Yeah, that's like
My face is rushing. Yeah.
We do that with
Time
of My Life as well, isn't it? We do that one with Time of My Life.
Do you do the lift?
We do.
well,
Our version of it.
We've got our own version of it, yeah.
Oh,
Come to
and
the
see
show
it.
when you see it.
Well, all I can say is it's unique.
Good.
Not giving away the show too much, but...
Is there a hoist?
What are you trying to say? Wow. You sit down with three ladies, the next thing you know...
But is there a plan like going forward Is there a big dream, or do you just want to keep going what you're doing, or what's your kind of out there?
I think we do want to slowly build up to bigger theatres, don't we?
We'd like to be hitting like the six to 800s eventually.
But we did say like we like the idea of the smaller theatres, and we like performing in them because it's how intimate it is. So I don't know if we'd ever really go massive, but we would like to perhaps next year build, you know, if we can fill these theatres out this year, maybe go up a little bit next year.
I think 300 is the biggest like venues that we've hit so far, and that's really nice because when you have those 300 venues, you can see everyone, you can interact with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So, because then you feel like you can properly connect.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I guess we'll see how the tour goes this year. Hopefully, it goes really well.
Yeah.
And then next year we'll hopefully book, you know, like more tour dates in.
Although you're doing Wembley Stadium.
We are doing Wembley Stadium.
With Ross.
We'll look out for that. So just one last time for our local listeners
And far and wide.
give the date and the place of and when people can get tickets.
So for Shaftesbury Arts Centre, if you're local to Shaftesbury, it's on the 8th of March. You can get tickets from the Shaftesbury Arts Centre box office, or you can go onto our website, which is www.musicalcoda.com, and it's got a list of all the theatres that we're going to be performing at from there, and we'll also have all the updated theatres as well going through that one as well.
And assuming you're on social media, you're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok now.
You're on TikTok.
We are on TikTok. We're giving TikTok a go.
We're
We
topping
followed
the tick.
each other.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
we're
few more
CODA
than us.
Musicals. So our socials are CODA Musicals. Yeah. So Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yeah.
That's right, and YouTube.
Oh yeah, and
And
YouTube.
we're on YouTube as well.
We quite often ask people,
Oh no.
just briefly,
By the way.
you know, the podcast is about just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And both of you have been, from what it sounds like, within the industry in some way or another forever.
Yeah.
And which is always brave to be relying on it
Mhm.
as well. So
Yeah.
if someone was out there wanting to give it a go into it, do something creative, not necessarily performing, what would your advice be?
You know what my advice would be is if they're thinking about, oh, you know what, I really want a job in work in the creative arts. If that's what you really want to do, like deep down, don't ask your mom or dad, or don't say to your friend, what do you think about this? Because nobody's going to give you the answer that you really want to hear. I think you've just got to trust that your gut. If that's what you want to do, you just do it. You try it. You know, all you can do is try. And I always think, like, if I'm working on like different projects, and you know, sometimes you don't want to launch something because you're like, oh God, you know, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm sitting on this for ages. Do it imperfectly. Like, don't just do it anyway, because who knows?
You'll
It's
never
better to
get it
be out
perfect.
there than just sitting
Yeah.
at home.
You'll
So
never,
I would
ever
say
get it
follow
perfect.
your gut and just go for it.
I think
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey said it best. You can fail at anything you do in life, so you might as well fail at something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, it's hard work. It's not just the flouncy singing side of it. There's so much other stuff that goes into it. But at the end of the day, if you are the type of person that is a creative and it's what you love to do, it is the best job in the world. And it does. It's one of those jobs that, you know, yes, you've got to pay the bills and everything, but you wouldn't just give it up for anything. The worst thing you could do is in 30 years' time to be sat back going, I just wish I had.
Yeah.
So what's stopping you from going and just getting on and doing it? Because otherwise, you are just going to regret it. And there's no point in regretting it. There's no point in regretting it.
That's great advice.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
We'll
thanks for
tag Jim
having us.
Carrey.
Yes,
Oh,
please
yeah.
do.
So we've got our tickets. We are really looking forward to seeing it. And make sure that you get yours.
And meanwhile, whatever your creative project is, don't let fear get in the way. Do it imperfectly.
Just
Do it anyway.
Everyone have a slurp.
yes.
I agree with everything you say.
Sorry, that's what they used to do. Jokes in the box. Do you not remember that one?
No. I'm not really a brass era.
They did,
Yeah, that's all I think I know.
Yeah, they did that one, and then
Which is the other one?
Chocolate in a Box was the other one.
I think you should make that one.
No, because then they used to have this right through the middle of it.
This is for the bloopers at the end.